A good midday Thursday to you. Roger Hill of Weathering Heights, VELCO Weather Hazards forecaster. This weather video is driven by 802cars.com, representing 802 Toyota, Twin City Subaru, and 802 Honda, located off of Exit 7 on Interstate 89 in Vermont. Looking at thunderstorm activity, you can see the lightning with the overlay here of the GO 16, and you can see clouds are just starting to get into some parts of Vermont. This is going to probably reduce some of the temperatures where that cloud cover is, but things are heating up pretty fine. Let's take a look at the situation. So we're looking at temperatures as we head toward the noon hour from earlier on this morning. Temperatures making a nice rise to the 70s, and in some cases we're already into the 80s. Looking at dew point temperatures, still relatively dry, and that's about to change as we have dew points into the 60s. And a little further to the south and west, we got dew points in the mid-60s, in some cases upper 60s. That's going to be working in later in the day and into tonight. Even though we have cloud cover moving in, precipitation, at least at these stations, just barely showing up, so we will see a dry day for Vermont, and probably into a good portion of this evening before this begins to make a run at us. This ridge of higher pressure is in control. Surface area of higher pressure is off the coast with a southerly wind, and that return flow is feeding in some of that moisture and higher dew point temperatures. Yeah, looking at the HRRR experimental here, and this is how the precipitation makes it into the region. We see some shower and a little bit of thunderstorm activity off to the west of us. That'll make a run into the St. Lawrence River Valley, cross into the Adirondacks, and then basically fall apart and just get reduced as rain shower activity. This is about midnight. Four in the morning, 7, and that'll set the stage for a lot of cloud cover, and then we're expecting shower and thunderstorm activity to begin to blossom. This is about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 o'clock. And you can see that we'll have thunderstorm activity percolating throughout the Green Mountain State and adjacent areas. So this is valid about 2 o'clock this afternoon. This would be 8 o'clock this evening. And you can see precipitation kind of gets whittled back as it moves forward. Eventually it makes it in here, but this is going to be for later on in the morning, and that's in the afternoon tomorrow, where we should see numerous showers and thunderstorms in the area. The good news is that drier air forced along by a big area of higher pressure is going to suppress things. So this is through the day on Saturday. Gives us a good project weather day Saturday. Looks like Saturday night's clear. And we continue that into the mode on Sunday. This is about 8 p.m. Sunday evening. Looks like the start of Monday is looking pretty good, and then we have this next weather system here that'll push in. Incidentally, no real issues with higher dew points with this particular setup, and it does look like, if anything, there'll be a lot of marine influence, so it'll dampen down the shower activity as it moves in later in the day on Monday. GFS Ensemble and the European model are in very good agreement. We have this initial shower and thunderstorm activity we'll see on Friday. Then it kind of lingers into the evening hours and then moves on out. So technically this is during the day on Saturday. This is during the day on Sunday. And the next threat really comes on Monday, and it's just a bunch of gibberish here with potential for some shower activity, nothing real insane or heavy duty at this point. So the Weather Prediction Center gives us about an inch to 1.5 inches. I think this is running a little bit high myself, but it's going to depend on what we get on Friday, because this includes Friday. And then thereafter, it's a lot lighter precipitation as we get into a good portion of next week. Looking at the temperature forecast, again centered on Burlington, warmest day coming, second warmest day on Friday, and then temperatures make a slow, gradual slide. Diurnal range in temperature indicating kind of the moderation due to the higher dew point temperatures, a little bit more moisture in the area. Notice this begins to see an expansion, and that's when we're looking at much drier conditions, at least a drier air mass from Canada. And looking at 850 hectopascals, you can see very warm temperatures aloft. That's considerably warm. And then that slow gradual slide. This is the 0 degree Celsius line. If we saw some of these go below 32 degrees or Fahrenheit, we would see some wet snowflakes in some of our local mountaintops. So some of these whiskers here, the outliers, indicating some mighty chilly air. So you can see that slide into the early to mid part of next week. So it's a warm day today, but the projections for the next 5-day maximum temperatures you can see running about 3 to 6 degrees below normals for this time of year. And 3 days later, it even gets colder, as we can see that slow slide in temperature. Very warm across the rest of the country. Atlantic Hurricane Basin for the month of June, the areas that develop generally west of the Florida Peninsula in the eastern Gulf of Mexico, and eventually these will expand as season grows. Roger Hill, Wuthering Heights. Thanks for watching.